Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Saints got a win over the weekend. Of course, they went up to Washington, beat a football team by 11, 33-22. So the Saints moved to 3-2 heading into their bye. For his effort, defensive back Marshon Lattimore was named the NFL Defensive Player of the Week. Making sure I got it right. It won the NFC or the NFL. So congrats to Marshon Lattimore for the honor. He had 6 pass breakups in the win over Washington. That was a career best for Marshon Lattimore. So congrats to him for the honor. Certainly a well-deserved honor for Marshon Lattimore after the day that he had in Washington. Yeah, NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Here it is. Forgive me. I thought it was the NFL, but it was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. So congrats to Marshon Lattimore for that honor. Certainly well-deserved. And what I'll tell you is, what's been so impressive about Lattimore through the first 5 weeks of the season is don't you always wonder, isn't it like this forever conversation, how is a guy going to react when he gets paid? Right? We have that conversation all the time. And there are differing sort of directions that some guys go. The most obvious local example is a guy like Jamarcus. Unfortunately, tremendous talent, had a lot going on in his life, got paid, and he just never put in the work. And so his career went the way that it did. Marshon Lattimore, and it was a big question coming into this offseason, were the Saints going to pay Marshon Lattimore? Because he certainly was there are opponents in big game moments where he has played big, but the narrative on Lattimore was he didn't bring that intensity every single game. And then you throw in the off the field issues from some of the arrests from this summer, and what we all assumed would be a looming suspension, which hasn't come yet. And there was this real legitimate question of, do the Saints pay him? And I think that's why they were so aggressive, looking to move up in the draft, potentially in the top 10 to take one of the best corners in this draft, Horn or Surtain. That's why there was conversations about a potential trade for C.J. Henderson. I mean, I know they had to replace Jackrabbit, but there was also this very real question we had all summer about, would they ultimately pay Marshon Lattimore? Would you invest a 9-figure deal in a guy like Lattimore, considering the inconsistencies at time and then the off-the-field stuff? Well, of course, you go out and you had every question answered game one. You're playing Green Bay. You're in Jacksonville. He hurts his thumb, which ultimately is going to require surgery. Like, put some tape on it, rub some dirt on it, and get back out there, which is what he did, and he balled out in that game against Green Bay. Then he goes and has surgery the next week. He has to miss the Carolina game, really only because he had just had surgery. And now he's been out there every week since with the thing cast or taped, still playing at an incredible level. And here he is as the NFC Defensive Player of the Week after 6 pass breakups in a game where offensively you certainly hit some big plays. But like we talked about, it was a day where you had 2 turnovers in the first half. In the first quarter, you had 2 missed PATs. You lost Taysom Hill and Deontay Harris during the game, and you still went on the road and beat Washington by double digits, in large part thanks to the day that the defense had and guys like Marshon Lattimore. So if you wondered how Lattimore would respond once he got paid, you want to contrast? Look at the narrative around Mike Thomas right now. Now, I don't buy this because we've talked about it, but a lot of people are saying Mike Thomas got paid and he hasn't been the same guy. I fundamentally disagree with that. I think Mike Thomas is a great player, and everything I've been told is he wants to be out on the field with his team. He just had a disagreement and made an immature decision about how he handled rehabbing his injury. And it's unfortunate that it costs the team what it has, and that's an awful look. But I don't think it means that Mike Thomas doesn't want to play or he's lost the fire. I think he just battled through an injury last year and then didn't handle it properly. But Lattimore, you can no longer have that conversation. He got paid, and dude is balling, which is awesome to see. The guy who kind of got snubbed is Blake Gillikin. A punter went out there and had one hell of a day for the New Orleans Saints. I mean, I've told you, for me, the sequence that was the deciding sequence for New Orleans in that game is when Adebo got the interception at the goal line, and then Gillikin had a punt out of the end zone, got it off despite being a short field there. And then the Saints got the 4th down stop, and then Gillikin coffin cornered one out at the 1. That's what allowed the Saints to get the ball and have a shot at the Hail Mary before the end of the half. You had a dude put 3 balls inside the 3-yard line. I mean, it's incredible. Like, apparently, according to ESPN Stats and Info, 3 punts inside the opponent's 3, that has not happened in the same game since the year 2000. At least 2000 when they started tracking that. 5 punts for a total of 268 yards. I mean, he was awesome. And when you see a day like that from a guy like Blake Gillikin, it sort of it affirms the decision the Saints made to move on from Thomas Morestead. As difficult as that was, because he was one of the remaining guys, along with Breeze and Malcolm Jenkins, who had left and came back, who had played on the Super Bowl team. And that was Morstead's rookie season in 2009. And he'd been such a great Saint and is forever going to be honored by the New Orleans Saints. One day he'll be in the Saints Hall of Fame, and deservedly so. But what's the old adage? Father Time's undefeated. And it was time to move on, and you had a great option. And Gillikin is rewarding that faith and that decision. The old line that Sean Payton, I know Mike Detillier for years used it on this show, and it's a Bill Parcells line that Sean Payton, of course, abides by, which is you'd rather get rid of a guy a year too early than a year too late. And sometimes that doesn't work in your favor. Darren Sproles is the best example of that. They moved on from Darren Sproles thinking he was at the end, and he still had good football left in him. But the flip side of it is, whenever you hang on to a guy too long, and sometimes you move on and it works, like it has here, obviously, with Blake Gillikin. So far, so good. So congrats to Marshon Lattimore. Blake Gillikin got completely robbed. He should have been the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. That went to Eagles linebacker TJ Edwards, who blocked the punt in the win over the Panthers. But either way, awesome game for Blake Gillikin as well. So congrats to him on the day. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.